Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Danny and this is South Lakes Living. Around 8 years ago, my wife Louise and I moved out of the city to live and work in the South Lake District, a place that we'd always dreamed of raising a young family. Louise has always wanted to work with children and secured a really good job here as a primary school teacher within a local school. I also pursued my childhood ambition within aviation, trained commercially as a pilot. Unfortunately, that's what I do now within the private sector. We have two boys, Ollie who is 8 and Leon who is 6.
And he's just enjoying it.
Ollie loves to climb and find marine life underwater. Leon loves to explore and only really this year is finding his confidence with the water, but really seems to be enjoying it so far. I consider myself very fortunate to have been able to practice adventure sports all over the world. But the Lake District will always be home. It's an incredible condensed selection of water systems, forests and mountains just begging to be explored. And that's exactly what this channel is about. It's about documenting and sharing our own family adventures so that other people can be inspired to get outdoors with their own families. We wanted to have a go at creating this channel for a few different reasons, mainly because our boys wanted to. When they do watch TV, they're obsessed with outdoor stuff, outdoor boys, scuba jade, that sort of thing, and they wanted to have a go for themselves. So I thought it was a fun project and here we are. This is handy because I originally did filmmaking back at university in the day, and being a pilot I don't really get the opportunity to create films and share them with an audience, so this is a great way of being creative and sharing what we create. And finally, I'm fully aware that time is fleeting. Our children seem to be getting larger every single day and it's all going to be over in a blink of an eye. So I just want to capture these memories for us to look back on and for also our children to show their children too. So I've told you what this channel is, but now for what it isn't. It isn't one of those short video social media channels that show you all of the best locations and give you a map of exactly how to get there. So that's not just me being mean. And although it's a factor, it's not just about protecting the spots from overcrowding either. I genuinely want to encourage exploration, just packing your van and heading for the hills. As a family, every time we've gone out in the past to find one set location, we've stumbled across 2 or 3 more locations along the way, and that's the kind of adventure that we want to promote. In fact, the very first location you see in this video, we found all of the other locations in this video just looking for that one. Get your family out there, go pack some stuff, get off the beaten track and go and explore. What I am going to do though, for every adventure we go on, is go through every piece of equipment we take with us, item by item, giving you any hints, tips, tricks that I've picked up along the way to help guide your own purchases. The videos are not sponsored in any way whatsoever, the information is purely to help you. You don't have to spend a ton of money on equipment. Mid-range is absolutely fine, but buying cheap, unreliable equipment, it not only wastes money, but it stops you from achieving what you set out to do. This adventure was all about exploring freshwater systems with our children in the South Lake District. It was in July 2025, which was last weekend. I finished my flight on a Friday, Louise finished teaching, the boys had just finished school. We packed the van and headed straight for the hills. So for this trip, equipment was fairly minimal. Let's have a look at what we packed. So first of all, adult wetsuits. This one's mine, decent quality, 5mm thick, 4mm at the joints, so it's easier to move. It's also a top zip, so it's harder to get into, but it stops the water trickling down your back, as with a normal wetsuit that you zip into at the back. Cheapish pair of trainers that are made with as much plastic as possible. It actually makes them fairly durable for cliff jumping. Louise has got a decent wetsuit as well. This is 4mm and 3mm at the joint. Again, it's a front zip, so it's going to be a little bit warmer, and she's just got a cheap pair of aqua shoes. Then I needed to take Louise with me as well. Leon's wetsuit and Ollie's. These are both good quality, 5mm, 4mm at the joints. Very cheap shoes, aqua shoes. You can see how quickly they get through them, but the feet grow so quickly. These are £7 each, something like that. I just replace these every year and invest the money more in better wetsuits. Cheapish skateboard helmets, really robust. I use these for base jumping as well, skateboard helmets. They really do a good job of protecting the head. Needed to take Ollie with me. Then I needed a large dry bag. This is what I carry the most of the equipment in. What's good about this is it's got valves on it, so that as you put everything in, you can wrap the top, compress it down, and it will get all of the air out of the inside. It makes it float, it makes it easier to carry, and it's also waterproof. I've also then got a couple of cheap bags that are exactly the same for the kids, so that they can carry their own kit and just get a little bit more independent. Also, if we're carrying lots of equipment, it kind of takes the weight off me slightly. Then I need to take Leon with me as well. Snorkeling equipment. Here's my fins. As you can see, they're sort of one size, non-adjustable, and a mask and snorkel. Now you'll notice that it's not one of these big round masks with a snorkel sticking out the top. And that's exactly the same for Ollie and Leon, who are using these as well. I also don't want one of these really fancy snorkels with lots of bells and whistles and things to go wrong. I just want a nice, easy to clear snorkel with a good quality lens that's not going to fog up too often. And also with the fins, they can be adjustable as the kids' feet grow, but they can use the clip on the side, so they can quite easily get in and out without having to mess about too much. Camera dive housing for my phone. Now you can get these off the internet, you can get different bags and things like that for about £15. I've invested in something a little bit more substantial, and I can take this fairly deep, and I know that the phone's going to be protected and that the quality of the image is going to be fantastic. And then finally, wearable towels. You don't have to spend a fortune on wearable towels. I got these quite cheap off the internet. They're fantastic in terms of privacy, getting changed on the fly really quickly. So that is everything we took on the trip. Now, the one piece of equipment that I haven't mentioned because they were drying at the time is the most important, the life jackets. Not only did they keep the kids afloat, but also they provide their ribs and back protection if they fall on rocks. They have numerous handles and grab points around them where you can hold the children if they're in precarious places. They're just absolutely essential. Make sure you get the ones with the straps that go under the legs and attach at the front. That way, if they jump in the water from any height, it's not going to make the life jacket go over their head.
Don't have to die for me.
Going through the cave.
Ain't got a wall fire keep me. Don't have to twist my arm. You know that I'm satisfied. Ain't gotta twist my arm. And you know that I'm satisfied.
One of the main things the boys like to do when they get there is jump off the rocks into the water. Now, I've checked the depth, I've been in myself, made sure that everything is okay. They've got all of the correct equipment on. They know how to jump and not to jump too far. It was only last year where Leon wouldn't even go in the water hardly, and he was looking at his big brother Ollie, who would only just about jump off the top. Now they're the first ones in.
Preaching to the choir like that. And you don't have to die for me to prove your love. Ain't got no bar.
We're originally from Nottinghamshire, so living in the South Lake District, we don't really see many of our friends and family too often.
Don't have to climb.
However, one of my old school friends, Leon, was up with his family, so we invited him out.
Honey, be true to me.
Going through the cave. Come on, boys! Come with me if you want to live!
You really do have to see what the river will give you on any set day, even in the summer. In the winter, predictably, it's just a torrent of water flowing through, and it's very dangerous even to try and swim in one spot. In the summer, if there's been a few days of rain followed by a nice day, on the nice day it's still almost impossible to climb up the water stacks. However, if you've had a few dry days, you can kind of assess it as you're climbing up and then make the decision whether it's safe to continue or climb out.
Hey, lads. Ollie's doing good up there, look at that. He's alright. Oh, you right? Go, you alright?
Now this may seem very dangerous, but I'm right at the back of Ollie and Leon, and I'm trying to let them go first to make decisions for themselves, to assess whether it's safe to continue or whether we should exit.
Well, Ollie, don't you go. Let me see if you can get this one. I think we're better going over the rock here. You guys know.
During this final climb, the flow and the current became much stronger, so we made the decision to climb out and re-enter at the top. Ollie is absolutely obsessed with the idea of marine life and foraging its own food through spearfishing. His granddad was a spear fisherman, I've done quite a lot of spearfishing, and it's something that he wants to do as well. I've set him very clear targets. Learn how to swim. Learn how to swim unaided without the life jacket. Learn how to snorkel properly, clearing your mask, being able to go down, not smashing your fins about on top, looking after your equipment. And it's been a huge surprise to Louise and I that we thought it would take him until he's about 15 years of age to do that. He started this about 6 months ago and, well, you can see where he's at already. We had a great time at the river, but now it's time to pack up and head for the hills. And this is one of the qualities of country life that I love. You can be driving down the road and all of a sudden there's a blockade of animals. Now in the city, everyone would be beeping and wanting to get to work, but here, you just kind of embrace it. In a few weeks' time, I'm off back out to Italy and Switzerland again on a wingsuit base jumping trip. So before we headed out on the Saturday morning, we headed to the drop zone just to get some practice in. My plan was just to do a quick solo jump for the practice, but when I got to the aircraft I bumped into my friend Andy and his son Christian, who invited me along with them. I think it's amazing that a father and son were flying wingsuits together, and I was certainly privileged to join them. But it really got me thinking about what I'm doing with my own children and how in the future we might be able to be slightly more adventurous in what we do. My boys quickly helped me pack my parachute, and that was it, we were back on the road again. That's it. Now do this, around here. That's it. Like this. That's it. Open it up. There you go, please. Look at that. This is one of our favourite spots on the river. The light seems to trickle through the leaves in the forests. There's plenty of places deep enough to jump in, but also you can go down the rapids of the river reasonably safely.
That's amazing!
Buying a wetsuit for a child is a little bit of a minefield because you presume that they're going to grow out of them really quickly, so you'll just buy them a cheap one that's going to be much larger that they can grow into, or just a thin one because it's discounted.
Okay.
Yeah, the slide.
Go on then. I always purchase wetsuits that are 5mm thick at the body and limbs, 4mm thick at the joints to add for extra flexibility. Now, because children are much smaller than we are, the 5mm will help keep them warm, but also it's going to add a lot more skin protection when they're rubbing up against rocks. Also, the wetsuit is less likely to drop apart than, for example, a 2 or 3mm wetsuit.
Cannonball!
Now, the way a wetsuit works is it has to be tight to the skin. It should allow a small amount of cold water to go in between the skin and the neoprene layer of the wetsuit. Your body then heats that layer of water up and it acts like a hot water bottle all over your body to keep it warm. If you've got a really baggy wetsuit, it doesn't do that.
Oh, you've not seen anything yet, boys.
All of the rocks underneath are really smooth and rounded where the water's been flowing over, and then they have like a layer of moss or plankton over the top that's almost like stepping on carpet. It makes it really soft when you're sliding down the rocks all the way down the river.
This is a great photo. Leon, down this bit. Go! Right, Ollie, wait. That's it, Leon, go on. On your bum, you'll be fine. Woo! Slide! Go on, push! Come on, Leon! Leon, take it well. Please. Ready? Right. Put your feet over, right, and jump. Over. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
We'd had a great time in the water, and now it was time to set up camp. Other hand. Maybe. Hey.
Mamma mia!
Before dinner, the boys wanted to explore, so we decided to go for a quick scramble. When we've had a long day and we just want to get dinner on with, hot dogs are the go-to. They just take a few minutes to heat in water, and that's it, no mess. I often get asked about roof tents and how they compare with normal tents. My roof tent is the single best purchase I've ever made. My children absolutely love it because they think it's like a tree house. It folds out so it's twice as large as the footprint of what it is on top of the truck. Because it's got a hard shell, it's really robust and weather resistant, but the best part is I can set it up in 2 minutes, I can take it down in 3 minutes, there's no mess. If it gets wet, when we get back home, I'll open it and let it dry, close it back up again, that is it. There is no mud, there's no other mess, it's just fantastic. A lot of people worry about having a roof tent if they've got a car, and they think that the roof wouldn't hold it. But what you've got to remember is that a car is designed that if it goes upside down, it has to hold the weight of not only all of the occupants, but the car itself, the engine, the wheels, the frame, everything. The car roof is very, very strong, even on the smallest of cars. What people should be looking at is the dynamic rating of the roof. If you've got a roof tent on bars, as the air goes under it as you drive down the motorway, it pushes it up and it gives it lift like a wing. So actually, even though the car is designed to take a lot of weight this way, it's not designed to take a lot of weight this way. And my truck has the same dynamic rating as some of the smallest cars today on the market. So actually, they all do a pretty good job of it. But what I will say is don't get one with a fabric shell. It'll deteriorate in no time, and you want one that you can just leave on there all the time because they are a pain to keep taking on and off. Louise and I were having a nice chat about the sunset we were about to get, and the boys were playing cowboys and Indians. Wave your flag.
The big chicken flag.
It's such a good feeling, and one that you can't really plan for when you get a secluded location, no cloud, nil wind. It's baking and you just know it's going to be an amazing sunset. The next morning, the boys and I woke up a little bit before Louise, so we decided to let her have some rest and we went out for a hike. This is a tarn. We asked the boys what they wanted to do, which was cliff jumping and snorkeling. So we headed out to one of our favourite spots.
Yes.
Should we go find the waterfall?
Yeah. And maybe some others too.
Maybe some adders. You got it, buddy? I absolutely adore this location. It's like an infinity pool looking out over the waterfall. Now as a parent, obviously you want to protect your children as much as possible, but also you can't wrap them in cotton wool. And it may seem like our children are doing quite a lot of climbing, maybe taking unnecessary risks. And sometimes you just have to step back, it's my belief anyway, and accept that slight sinking feeling in your stomach, knowing that you need to give them room to explore, but also you need to give them as much training as possible. So our boys regularly go to the indoor climbing wall to make sure that they're aware of how to climb and just to get that muscle memory. But I also bring them up to the crags, do quite a lot of outdoor work with them, little bits of abseiling, things like that, just to make them situationally aware. And then on top of that, just give them the correct equipment. They've got helmets on, we get them to keep their life jackets on, just to give them some protection against the ribs and things like that. And also they've got the wetsuit on and good shoes to protect the skin. Aside from that, I'm with them most of the time. Sometimes I try and step back a little bit more just to give them room to explore and to watch them grow. But yeah, it can be nerve-wracking as a parent, but this is half the adventure as well.
Right, Ollie, just stay there on that path. Keep going a little bit. Just be careful, go on, you're all right.
Usually when we come here, I'll jump from the very top. It's about 50 feet down to the water and it's fairly safe, it's deep, there's not much to hit, so if you know what you're doing, it's absolutely fine. The boys have never really expressed any interest in doing so, but now they're getting braver, they're starting to ask questions. They were asking about why they couldn't jump from the top, so we started going through the reasons with the bodies being small. However, I did want to try and compromise with them, and there is a little bit of a halfway house.
Come on, Leon. Ready? 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, go.
Now from this perspective, the ledge doesn't look very high, but as you can see, it's probably about halfway up the face, which is about 20 to 25 feet, 4 to 5 meters, something like that. It's certainly the highest thing they've ever jumped off. I gave them the choice, they didn't have to do it, and they were certainly nervous.
And then, when I say jump, it's going to be a big push forward. Right, just put your toes, spread this to the nose, put your toes over the nose. There, yeah? 1, 2, keep your hands off your nose until you go in the water. 1, 2, 3, go. Big jump. Big jump. Go.
Now before we went to our next camping spot, Ollie wanted to go snorkeling. Now I don't know how deep this place is, but what I can say is it's crystal clear visibility and then it just drops off to blackness. I was really worried that Ollie would start to panic, but there was none of it. I was really proud of him. Now I wondered what Ollie was doing here, so I decided to step back and observe. He's normally not got the most patience, but what he was doing was putting his hand on the ledge and just allowing the marine life to settle on top so that he could observe it. It was fascinating to watch. What is it with children and sticks? Everywhere they go, they have to pick up and carry a stick. Normally I don't really say anything, but in this case I think the stick was slightly excessive.
That was the best freshwater snorkel I've had, Ollie.
This was genuinely one of the best freshwater snorkels I've ever had. It wasn't necessarily about the snorkel, it was just sharing it with Ollie. And I can't wait for Leon next year when his confidence gets up a little bit more so that he can come with us.
Oh, I'm a lucky guy. Had a good time, guys.
On the beach, of course.
And what better way to conclude the weekend than with a takeaway on the beach? If you've enjoyed the video as much as we've enjoyed making it, then please like and subscribe to stay on the journey with us.